Hello and welcome to the Wondermongers.
Where we talk about the strange and freakish things in our slice of the world. I'm Christina.
And I'm Quincy. Let's wonder, Monger.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Steven.
Hello, my love. How are you?
I'm good. You should get closer to the microphone. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to hear you proper.
Okay. I am now close to the microphone.
Welcome.
I am happy to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, Garfield's also happy to be here. You can hear him through the door.
He is so desperate to get in here.
Honestly. He seems to be a big fan of you.
You know, I think he likes me, except for the fact that I think he only likes me whenever I have, like, a feathered toy in my hand.
That's how I feel too, honestly.
It's like, you are only here to love me as long as I'm here to entertain you.
Facts. Okay, so you came prepared to this, actually.
As prepared as I can be. I just did a little bit of research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the research being our podcast.
Yep.
Great. So we're going to get into what Steven came prepared with in just a moment. However, we do have to answer last week's question, and I have thought very little on it.
I've had about 10 minutes.
Great.
Maybe to think about it.
And have you come up with anything good?
I would have to say a baking group, because nothing says fabulous like a nice loaf of bread with rainbows on it.
Oh, okay. Great. I love that. The question was, what was it? It was like a gay...
What other group, besides the library group of gay men, or great gay people?
Whatever that was. Hold on. Actually, let me look it up.
You could look this up.
Well, I can look at my my notes from last time.
You had these.
Yeah. What do you mean I had these?
You've had this in the entire... I did...
Like, okay, but it wouldn't have helped you with what we're going to talk about later. So it only helps me in the moment for this particular situation. So let's see. You know what? Here's a good way of finding out.
Yay, Control F. Gay Task Force.
Is the Gay Task Force of the American Library Association. And the question was, if there was...
Another gay task force.
Yeah, then what do you think it should be?
NASCAR.
NASCAR?
Nothing says...
No longer bakery?
Baked goods while driving fast.
Ah, okay.
Nothing says zoom zoom like a sandwich.
I would never call a sandwich a baked good.
Why not?
The bread is baked.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
You can bake a sandwich.
You
ever gone to Subway and said, "Do you want this toasted?"
Yeah, toasted.
Baked good.
But like,
Baking the sandwich.
all right, fine. I'll just let you be wrong. I think a gig task force that should exist is see, I was gonna go with something like NASCAR, to be perfectly honest, because there shouldn't be one, and there should definitely be one.
I mean, there isn't one. There should be one.
Yes, that's what I was getting at. Like,
Okay.
one definitely doesn't exist,
Oh.
and there definitely needs to be one.
Oh.
So I'm gonna go with, what else is manly and rugged and dumb?
Powerlifting.
Powerlifting?
Yeah.
All right. The Gay Task Force of Powerlifting. That is what I want to go with. Because, oh my God, could you imagine?
They'd win.
I am in. I am so in. Okay, so we don't know what Quincy's answer is going to be. However, she will definitely tell me in the next episode. I guarantee it. When I mean me, I mean everybody else too.
Absolutely.
It'll be recorded.
Yep.
Okay, so now that that question's done, we have other questions that we need to talk about.
Absolutely.
Because Steven came prepared. He had homework for himself.
I cheated.
He cheated. All right, so explain what you wanted to do this episode.
So I wanted to go over and give a listener, myself, their answer for the first, 4 or 5 episodes of your guys' podcast.
Okay,
So
like the question that we had at the end of the episode?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I'd listen to each one. Granted, you guys love to talk, and I love listening listening to
Yeah.
your guys' conversations. And I just found these questions very fascinating, and I'd love, after you guys would record and I would listen to it, and I'd be like, hey, by the way, I have an answer to your guys' question.
Honestly, he does do that. Every other episode, he'll just look at me after he's listened and he's like, so, we need to talk.
Yeah, I have an opinion about this.
Okay, so hit me with the questions that you thought were interesting.
Well, I'm definitely going to go in order. If I come back, I'm going to come back with more.
Okay.
But I really just wanted to see how this worked out.
Are these like the first 4 or 5 that we ever did, or are they literally just whatever you thought was interesting?
They are the first 4 questions of your entire series.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I wrote a novel.
You really did. There are several pages here, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. So let's get into it.
All right. So the first question on your guys' series that ever was, would you rather be followed around for a year by a group of people who all look alike and interact with you and try to convince you that they all are the same person? Or would you rather be part of the group of 6 people following around somebody else and convincing them that you are the same person?
Right. And I have no idea where that question came from. I know Quincy came up with it. I just don't know what part of her brain said, this is the one, do this.
Yeah, as I was listening to your guys' podcast, I was like, I don't know where the question comes from. Because normally your guys' questions, like, somewhat relate to your topics, but,
Not this one. But, like, honestly, the first one was just us introducing ourselves, so, like, I guess there wasn't really much to go on there.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so what you said you wanted to go over what my answer was, what Quincy's answer was, and then your take on it.
Absolutely.
So, hit me.
So your answer was that you don't want to be, your words were, I don't want to be the butt of the joke, so I want to be a part of the 6 people.
Right, yeah, I remember that now.
To try and convince the one person that you are only one person of a group. Quincy, on the other hand, wanted to be the individual of it and wanted to try and figure out if she could figure out if this is a different person every single time and try to play detective.
Right. She wanted to solve the mystery on her own.
Yeah. I agreed with you. And
really?
Yeah, I wanted to be one of 6.
Okay.
But also because the fact that I wanted to have, try to figure out who's the most Steven of Steven, Because
Okay. That's fair.
if all 6 people are trying to portray themselves as Steven, who does a better job of that than me? I want to see that. At the same time, it's like a Highlander situation where, there can only be one Steven.
That's fair. And I guess it's like, what do you really think is Steven?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the essence of who I am? And what's your version of it? So what do you really think about me, I guess?
Yeah. Do I portray myself as a certain way? Do I stand a certain way? Do I act a certain way? Do I give off certain mannerisms?
Yeah.
And whatnot? What does the other 5 people really understand, Steven?
You got the flavor, the essence.
Though I also was kind of curious on how this whole process worked.
What whole process?
Becoming one of 6 people to act like one person. Do you sit down with the one person and be like, all right, we're going to interview you and try to get inside the mind of you?
Oh, I doubt it. I'm sure it's more on the fly, hey, you want to really mess with Steven today?
That makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, why would you want to mess with me? I'm adorable.
Dimples and everything.
Yeah, I have dimples. Is he cute? Yes, he has 2 dimples right here.
It's literally that's the main defying thing for people is, if you've got dimples, you must be cute.
Yep.
No dimples, sorry about you.
Mm-hmm. How do I get away from most of our arguments whenever I get in trouble? Dimples.
Honestly.
All right, so moving on to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to the next question. If someone were to summon you, what is something they would absolutely need to bring as an offering to ensure the fact that you would show up?
Okay, yeah.
And after listening to your guys' podcast, your guys' answers make absolutely sense. Your answer, the answer that you came up with, and then the Quincy's answer for you, and then vice versa. Both sets of answers make sense.
For our personalities and who we are.
So you said when asked the questions what would you need? What would somebody need to summon me to anywhere? Right. And I've seen this actually happen with Christina. Her answer was a puppy, and it's facts. If you say, hey, by the way, we're holding a party and whatnot, she'll be like, maybe I might go, and then they're like, oh, but I got a new dog. What time?
Right, I'm there. Mm-hmm. Is it a fluffy dog? Should I be worried about if my fingers are going to get tangled because I'm going to pet so much? Do I have to worry about breathing because this dog will be on top of me because we're snuggling? Or is this a dog that I need to worry about crushing because we're going to be snuggling?
See, my biggest thing is if I was in your shoes was, is this dog a not lap dog that thinks it's a lap dog? like a Great Dane. It was like this looks at you and goes, I can fit on that lap. I can totally fit. And like,
Watch me.
just like, don't pay attention to me. I'm just gonna crawl up on your lap and just lay right here.
All right, don't mind me.
Yep.
So that makes sense for me. And like I remember specifically one moment where you said, "Hey, I'm going to go play Magic with some friends. You want to come?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's not really my scene." And then you said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a dog." And I was like, "Done. I'm in. Let's go."
Yeah. Guy
Very cute, like
husky.
Husky, that's what it was. Yes. Very, very husky.
Yep. And we just sat there for like, I'm playing here for like hours. We're a good 4 hours, and Christina's just in the corner, just petting the husky, just sitting there in the corner. I look over and I was like, "Are you doing good?" She's like, "I'm doing great."
Thanks for asking. My hands were so dirty by the end of it, but it was so worth it. And I couldn't feel my fingertips. You know when you pet a dog so much or a cat so much that like you just can't feel your fingertips anymore?
I've never actually gotten to that point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
You love dogs more than I do, I
oh,
guess.
so much. So much. I got to pet a dog on the way here. Oh, it was a great day, honestly.
The dog was so excited too. It's
Yeah.
Like, the dog like pounced around after she was done, and she was like, "Oh."
Perfect. So, puppy makes sense for me.
Puppy makes sense for Christina. For Quincy, she said Mountain Dew. If you want to summon Quincy, bring a case of like Mountain Dew. And I'm like, that makes sense. Me personally, I would have.
Go ahead. Good.
I
I have thoughts.
I was like, what kind of Mountain Dew in particular? Is like just original Mountain Dew? Or are you talking like Live Wire? Are we talking like Volt?
I like how you didn't go with the most common variation that people go for.
Baja Blast?
Code Red, dude.
Oh.
You went for literally every other flavor that they give out.
Listen,
What am I listening to?
Baja Blast is better than Code Red.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Hands down. It's
Also-
the best. However,
My reasoning for that is not probably what you think.
all right, hit me.
Taco Bell.
Okay, I mean, Taco Bell just doesn't hit the right way unless Baja Blast is involved.
Exactly.
Like, fight me if you think differently. But Mountain Dew doesn't really make sense to me for Quincy at this point since I know her so well. She's a Pepsi girl.
Really?
Really?
That's right. We have a couple like bottles and containers of Pepsi in our fridge solely for Quincy. Don't
Yeah,
we?
because every time she's over, she's like, "You got a Pepsi?"
Yeah.
So like, we're always at the ready, and she brings her own like all the time. She always she ends up bringing extra anyway to store at my place or our place, and just like make sure that she's never without. So, Mountain Dew kind of doesn't make sense anymore to me,
That's true.
but
You know, people change as they
yeah,
time go
yeah,
along.
yeah. Okay, so
And then I also wrote down what you thought you would need if you particularly wanted to summon Quincy. And you
right, we did that.
you said a Hoodie Allen sweatshirt, which makes sense because she went to a Hoodie Allen concert this last couple weeks, didn't she?
Yeah, she's actually, so I don't know if I explained. We ran out of content, essentially, while she was on vacation. So that's why I pulled in this very good-looking man that you can't see right now. But I pulled him in and I said, "Hey, want to talk on a microphone for a half hour?" And he said, "Bet." So because Quincy is out of town, he's here, and he is Quincy today. So I'll go get you a Pepsi after this, and it'll be
Appreciate
great. And you can tell me all about Tom Cruise and how many movies you watched. Yes, I brought Tom Cruise into it. Quincy's going to be so happy. But yeah, she went to go see a Hoodie Allen concert and a Fall Out Boy concert and got to hang out with her friend. And now she's hanging out with her mom. She's having a great time.
She's gone on more concerts in this last month than I've gone in my entire life.
No, really?
Yeah, I've only gone to 2 concerts.
Ever?
One was a...
I was there for both of them then. Because we went to 2 concerts.
Did we?
Yeah.
What was the second one?
The second one was...
I know that we went to a...
Oh my god, what's their name? Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons. I remember that one.
That was the second one.
That was the second one. What was the first one?
It was Kingdom Hearts. It was really nerdy.
Oh, right. I was trying to win you over. I was like, she likes nerdy stuff. She likes Chicago.
Okay, you said nerdy. I heard dirty. Thank God you said nerdy.
She likes nerdy, dirty stuff.
Stop.
She likes nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
So I combined her favorite city, which is Chicago, with Kingdom Hearts, which is a game that she's absolutely obsessed with.
I wouldn't say obsessed,
You
but
have 2 swords in every single game,
listen.
and the remix of those games.
One of them was your fault.
Yeah, I was trying to woo you.
So he got me a Kingdom Hearts Keyblade sword thing.
That was Aqua's.
Yes, Aqua is my favorite character. Anyway, this is not the nerd corner right now. We gotta move on.
All right, moving on. So when it comes to summoning Quincy, we have a hoodie, Alan sweater. When it
Right.
comes to what Quincy thought was to summon Christina was vegan brownies, which she's not wrong. Your brownies are very delicious.
Thanks.
Granted, we recently learned that they were poison.
Yeah, they're so good they could kill you.
Yeah, literally.
We found out that they were toxic because of the
Was it mercury?
no, it was lead
Lead?
in the cocoa powder that I was using. Like I loved the cocoa powder so much that I bought a huge pack. It was like 6 of them.
Yeah.
So I had to throw out all of them because they found lead in there, and I was so mad.
These brownies were really hardcore.
Metal?
Super metal.
Oh, neat. Okay, so that was our answers.
Yep.
Now what's your answer?
My answer for this, what I would have to say is you. If somebody says, hey, we have this event going on and Christina's going to be there, you bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to do everything within my power to get from point A to point B to see you.
And that's how we would summon you is
Yes.
well, not we, but the others would summon you as
Anybody.
if I'm there.
Yeah, you'd be like, we have Christina, and I'll be like, whoosh. 'Cause
Beeline.
just straight through. The reason why I say this is because the fact that not during our entire relationship, since we've been together since 2018, and during our entire relationship, I don't think there's a single time where you've called for me and I haven't come to like straight to you.
Even before then, like when we were just friends, like I would call, you would come. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really notice before that was such a pattern, but I it was all about me in the moment. It wasn't really about other people. I wasn't really thinking about stuff like that.
Well, the thing is that in my mind, if you ever needed help or if somebody needed help that was my friend, I would want to be there for them.
Yeah, and that's half the reason that like I feel for you because you are such a genuine human being. The dimples helped.
Didn't know that these were such a moneymaker. I would have used these more.
All right, so
My answers for both of you when it comes to summoning y'all. Granted.
oh, okay, so you made your own answers for our situation.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, hit me with the answers.
When it comes to Christina, back in Sierra Vista, Arizona, there was this Vietnamese restaurant that we would go to constantly that's had tons of noodles, tons of vegan noodles as well.
That's so good.
We called this dish the mouthful of noodles because the fact that there's so you have those styrofoam containers. This would be full of just pure noodles from bottom to top.
So good. Like it was so indulgent, and we just had it all the time. So
Yes.
I was just walking indulgence.
It was literally right outside the gate too. So say, hey, give me 15 minutes. I'm gonna go get you food.
It also helped that it was really close to the card shop for you.
Oh yeah. They'll be like, oh, it's gonna take us about 30, 45 minutes. I'll be like, oh, that's fine. I'm gonna go across the street, which is where the card shop was.
It was a good arrangement for the both of us.
I liked it. And now for Quincy, when it comes to summoning her, I think they're called miniature Highland cows. You know, the small fluffy cows?
Do they come in miniature?
I think they do.
If they do, yes. If they don't, still yes.
I'm gonna pull some science shit and be like, you want a mini cow? I'm gonna make you a mini cow. Just bzz, bzz.
You're gonna just fuck with genetics. Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm gonna be that mad scientist, be like, "Meow."
Oh, is that how that works?
Yes.
Great. All right.
Moving on to our third question, which is from their 4th episode, by the way. What is your favorite thing about living? And at the end of the episode, Quincy quoted a movie called The City of Angels, which, just so she knows, I have never seen this before. And a little girl said, footy pajamas, which I can vouch for. Those are very comfortable, very warm, depending on what time of year it is, but very comfortable depending on...
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cozy.
I think I was 12 last time I wore a pair. So
I don't think I've ever worn a pair.
they're very like enclosed.
Yeah.
Like you put your feet in, like it's a onesie.
Like, I'm sure I have, but I was a baby and I didn't really understand what was happening around me. But, like, as an adult, I don't remember a moment where I was consciously aware that I was wearing footy pajamas.
I think as adults, after a certain point, I think that's just the way to go because the fact that you just don't have to put on pants, you don't have to put on a shirt, you don't have to put on anything, just foot, zip, done.
You know? If it works for children, it works for me.
'Tis the way of life.
I guess.
All right, Christina, Quincy, and myself each had two answers for this. We had a serious answer, we had a funny answer.
All right. Hit me with both.
All right, for Christina, she really likes those moments where people match her energy or when people match energy in general. She doesn't care who, she doesn't care how long. It's just those moments where you finally like make a connection with people and it just clicks.
Yeah. It's high up there for me.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to a funny answer, it's basically any clumsy moment that a pet, dog, cat, bird, doesn't matter, has, and you just see the reaction where you're like, if I did that, if I bumped into something or walked into a glass door, I'd just be like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And the dog would be like, oh, cool, there's something here, let me in.
Right. And they're like, oh, the human's laughing. Yay.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally all they care about.
And when it comes to Quincy, her serious answer was when you're not quite asleep, but you're not quite awake, you're just floating in that weird little floating moment between sleeping and being awake. And it's kind of a daze. I can understand what she's talking about because I've done that. I think I did that literally last night where you and I were talking, and I was over here just trying my best to stay awake.
Yeah, he kept falling asleep on the couch.
It was my couch is very comfortable.
I'm glad you think that.
I've had this for literally over a decade now because I moved out of my dad's house in 2014. So
Jeez, dude.
that couch is comfortable and it is mine.
I'm surprised it's in such good shape that it is, considering I introduced dogs to those and we try our best, but it's looked better.
Yeah. Either way, we're probably going to get a new couch after this, but that's beside the point. The funny answer that Quincy gave was fan fiction. And she said, has been a part of her life for over 10 years, including the shit post. She can't imagine her life without it. So
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like her.
I've never really gotten into fan fiction.
Amazing.
Yeah. My answers were those moments where people show genuine kindness with each other. So when somebody says, I see someone on the homeless saying, so I give them a sandwich, or I see someone struggling and I help them. You're not doing it for a video. You're not doing it for publicity. You're not doing it for anything other than I want to help this person. It's those moments where you show actual human kindness that I think makes life worth living.
I think that sounds correct for you, because you're such a genuine human being.
Oh, fun, cool. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world. You just
Kindness is really uncommon nowadays, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
guess.
people don't want to talk to other people.
I don't know.
Like, you're a very strange man. Like, when I first met you and I just saw how you interacted with the public, I was in awe. Because I was like, what are you doing? Don't talk to him. You don't do that. That's not what we do in society. So it just didn't compute. But now I know how you are, and it doesn't even faze me anymore.
There was a moment that you just reminded me of when we were in Chicago. We just got done eating this cheese pizza that you gave up, you paused veganism for this pizza. It was cheese, it was thick.
Wasn't I vegetarian then? Not vegan?
As far as I know, you were always been fully vegan, but if you were vegetarian, you paused it for this pizza.
Oh, okay.
What's Giordano's is what it?
Giordano's, yeah.
Yeah, it was Giordano's, and we just got done eating there, and we were walking back to our Airbnb, which is a completely different story by itself. I have feelings about this thing, but as we're walking back to Airbnb, we stop at a light, and this homeless man, me and this homeless man make eye contact, and I realize that he's struggling, and I try handing him my food because we had leftovers, and you're like, "Don't do that," and I was like, but he's hungry. I was like, yeah, but you paid like $30 for this like slice of pizza.
Right.
And I was like, but if he's hungry, he can have it. I can go get it again. Which I understand both sides. Like, people are going to like do underhanded things to get what they want to make themselves better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in my mind, I always assume that if somebody's in need, they're in need. So
you would rather be the guy that gives up a lot for a situation that may be just someone trying to screw with people.
yeah.
And you'd rather be that guy rather than someone that walks away from the situation and doesn't help somebody that might actually truly be in need.
Yeah. I'd rather play the fool in a situation where I'm getting had than be somebody that walks away from somebody that needs help. You know?
I believe that 100%. Now that I understand how you are as a person. At that point, I was like, what? That's not a thing people do.
Yeah, this was also at the beginning of us, like, actually getting to hang out one-on-one.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we've only, at that point, we've only been talking for maybe 6 months as friends.
Yeah.
And then we've only, like, moved in together, like, a month or two afterwards.
Okay.
I think it was around, yeah, it was 2 months. Because I moved in May. The concert was in July because I wanted it to be around your birthday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
He's just a good guy. Anyway, that was your serious one.
Yep.
Your funny one.
my funny one is food and drink. Give me a beer. Give me a glass of juice. I don't care if it's wine or otherwise. Make sure it's something tasty.
So
Life is all about that wine and dine.
it's literally eat, drink, and be merry.
Absolutely.
All right.
I will be Santa Claus on this.
That's perfectly fine. Enjoy it. An Asian Santa Claus, my favorite.
I gotta get that beard going.
Okay, so you do have more.
I have one question left.
Okay, is that something that you want to touch on for a few more minutes?
I can touch on it very quickly.
Okay. Then this next one, I'm reading it right now. It's what are 2 mundane things in life you should just not mix?
Okay, so just to zoom through this real quick, Christina's answer was, don't mix socks with flip-flops.
Yeah.
And she says she's perfectly fine with, like, socks and sandals, which in my mind is a flip-flop, but, you know.
It's really not.
That thing you put on your foot, that's not a shoe.
Yeah, but it's already, it's holding on to your foot. You don't have to do the work. For the flip-flops, it could easily just fall right off. And also, the in between the toes thing is just, Nope, I don't think so.
Okay. I was going to, like, say what that thing's called, but I want to be not in the doghouse for the next week. So,
Yeah, don't say the T word.
the thing that Quincy says that she's completely against socks and sandals in general, but she's especially against socks and what are those, Birkenstocks?
Birkenstocks.
Which I had to look that up.
Oh.
I had no idea what a Birkenstock, which in my mind looks like a sandal.
Yeah, like I said, sandals, fine.
Okay.
So that's what I'm referring to when I mean sandals.
It
It's
looks-
like a Birkenstock.
It looks like a gator. Or Crocs. Crocs, right?
Yeah. I mean, no, but yes.
They look like
I
look like leather Crocs. I'm also old. Just so you guys know. When it comes to Quincy's answer, she said that most of her answers were food related, such as ketchup and eggs, which, by the way, I love this. I grew up with ketchup and eggs. When my dad finally gave me, like, eggs with no ketchup, I was like, what is this abomination that you have in front of me? Why do you want me to put salt and pepper on my eggs? It deserves the red sauce of awesomeness.
The red sauce needs to be had.
Yes. Give me the ketchup. But she doesn't like ketchup in general, but she can eat it with other things, just not eggs, which I can understand. Each their own.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how she doesn't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's like a staple in our household.
Yeah, it's a classic.
And I understand that you guys, during your guys' podcast, that you guys had to debate between if pineapple goes on pizza, which is, I'm in favor for, but I understand that not everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Other things that Quincy mixes with peanut butter is something called Caro.
It's Caro.
Caro syrup and
Yeah.
honey. I've never had that in particular, but she's all for it. Her brother religiously has peanut butter and banana sandwiches. She has peanut butter and summer sausage.
Which is stupid.
I've never had that. But my point with this is the fact that I can't really argue or judge anybody based on food options because...
You're not going to go through all that and not talk about the saltine and vanilla ice cream.
I want to try all of it. The thing is that you can't judge a book by its cover just because of the fact that it sounds awful. Peanut butter and summer sausage sounds terrible. Saltines and vanilla ice cream sounds terrible. But the thing is that I've never had it, so I can't really be like, you nasty. Why would you put that together?
I mean...
I was a weird kid. I put like Mountain Dew and grape Kool-Aid together.
Well, that sounds good.
It's Volt.
Is it?
That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. But it didn't necessarily taste like it?
I was 8. I was that weird kid that you're like, you know what? I'm going to put a ham sandwich together with peanut butter and jelly. Just so you're like, put that together and try it.
Okay, cool. So anyway, let's move on to your answer.
My answer was also food-related stuff.
Of
My
course.
first part was like pickles and peanut butter. That just sounded weird to me, but the thing is, it's also a guilty pleasure of mine because that I love like the crunch to go with it. I understand why pregnant women like eating it because of the fact that it's really tasty.
Yeah.
If your body's like, I want something vinegary, along savory, give me that peanut butter and pickleness.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Like, that I can see as a one-off. But, like, eating that consistently, I don't think I could do that. It's like I'm in the mood for it kind of a thing.
Absolutely, I agree with that. My answer to this question, though, is chains, like CHAINS, and pants, just combining those. I used to have a pair of those back in high school, which, by the way, was 16 to 20 years ago, depending on which year you're going for. And I literally, like, you know how people say, you should put a bell on this person so you can hear them? I literally was walking around going, jingle, 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 jingle. And it was... I dropped my phone.
If I needed another reason to think that you were a cat in a past life, that did it. Oh my God.
And it's just, granted, I could remove them, but the thing is that they were part of the pants. So it's like wearing shoes with no socks. You have to wear these pants with the chains. And
does it bother you when I don't wear socks with these shoes?
You're not wearing socks?
No, like right now I'm wearing socks, but I have in the past where I just don't wear socks.
If you did, I didn't notice.
Well, fair, but like I do it when I know it's going to be raining.
That's
and
worse. Why would you
Or if I'm in a situation where I know I'm going to have to deal with water at some point. It's so I don't have wet sock. Like,
okay.
These shoes are very, like, they've got a lot of holes for breathability.
I misunderstood. I thought you were wearing socks with your shoes, knowing you're going to go into the rain. And I was like, why would you go in knowing you'd step into water and just have wet sock moment, which is terrible. You just sit there and you're like, ugh. Awful.
That was the best and worst noise you could have made. Thank you.
Thank you. But back to my chain and pants. It's just the jingle, and then when you sat down, I sit down on chairs very hard. Like I just kind of flop myself down, and flopping yourself down and having a piece of metal just really go like, "Hi, butt cheek. Ooh. Here's where I'm at." You literally just, like sit down in the middle of class and go, and I'm standing back up because and then you actually have to like maneuver them. So I have to like grab them from like the base and like whip them onto my lap and then sit down. Just so that and then I have like a pile of chain in on my lap, and then when you get called to the board, you literally have to go like, as you're standing up to go to the board. So you make a noise when you make a noise because your chains are hitting the desk, and then you walk over to the board going chingle 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 chingle.
Changle. Nice word.
And the other thing about this is the fact that I wasn't a goth kid. I wasn't a punk kid either. So I'm just over here wearing like a polo with chain pants and whatnot and be like, yeah, hi guys, jingle, 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 jingle.
Oh no. I hate that visual. I hate it so much.
You can ask anybody that I went to high school with. I had no fashion sense. I just wanted to be comfortable. And these were like, back in the day, like they were like parachute pants.
Oh no.
And I wore them with like sneakers. And there was a point where they had these pockets too that was like by my knee.
Are they cargo?
I turned them to cargo, but
Oh.
no, like they had cargo pockets, but the thing is that I turned them like, what are they called, capris?
These pants are fascinating, honey.
Yeah.
Oh my
I took a
god.
pair of scissors to them, and I was like, they kept like fraying at the ends, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like cut them to where they're just below the pocket. I kept the chains too and whatnot.
How'd that work out for you? Where are they now?
They are gone. They no longer fit me. My waist is like a 44, 45 inch waist. This was back when I was like a 20. I had a friend in high school who was like a toothpick, and she fit in them.
Wow.
Comfortably. And I was like, am I that skinny? And
Don't know that life.
I am about donut life now.
Okay, so chains and pants.
Chains and pants. Don't
Mix them.
nope.
All right, well, you heard it from here, from the horse's mouth.
Nay.
It didn't have to be like that. Okay. Do you have a question for us?
If I had to choose a question, is what is a dessert that you would give your worst enemy at their going away party?
A dessert that I would give my worst enemy at their going away party?
Yes. I have an answer to this, and since I'm not going to be here next time, I'm going to give mine.
All right.
My answer is raisin cookies. Because they're abomination. I would work my butt off to make sure that they looked like chocolate chip cookies, though, and then give it to them.
Oh, well, that is pretty diabolical.
Be like, here, and I would put label it as, like the tray as chocolate chip cookies too. Get them in the mindset of biting into a chocolate chip cookie just for the disappointment of raisin.
Are they oatmeal raisin, or are they just like regular chocolate chip cookies without the chocolate chips, and instead it's raisins?
Yes.
Okay, cool, great. So we'll have to think on that one, and you'll get to listen to mine and Quincy's answers next time. So,
Bye. Night meeting y'all.
love you, bye. You have to say it too.
Oh, I have to... Love you. Love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.